Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. Today I will be reviewing BTC, ETH, and maybe LTC. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. Today I'll just be reviewing some of the majors and Bitcoin. Let's look at BTC USD on the 1 week. As I said before, this doesn't really look good or bad, honestly. I mean, it looks at this point just like accumulation. I mean, I still feel that this is different accumulation than what we saw back in 2020 and at the bottom of 2018, early 2019. But I mean, and this is still, I still feel this is like more looks like a market top in the short term. But that said, I still am bullish until shown otherwise. I still feel that this will go higher until some levels are broken. We could certainly see like the high 30s. It's certainly possible. But I mean, until shown otherwise, I'm just going to assume that this is just more accumulation. And the reason why I feel, if you've seen the other videos that I've posted, like this type of price action with these types of closes and this volatility, it's not really the same type of price action that we saw in 2020, for instance. Like if you compare some of these other areas of consolidation that we saw, it's like very little volatility in general. And yeah, I mean, let's just kind of see. I mean, I honestly don't have a great idea of where Bitcoin's going in the short term. Let's look at it on the daily. Again, you're seeing this kind of higher highs formed, but then you're also seeing like lower lows as well, like a low, lower low, and high, higher high. So I mean, usually in this type of price action, you're seeing a lot of chop, and it usually will form just a consolidation pattern where price just ranges in both directions. And we're kind of seeing that right now too. I mean, it's very choppy on lower time frames. Like people are getting stopped out and liquidated. This type of environment right now, this is not the time to start amping up leverage, in my opinion, unless you're an expert scalper and you know what you're doing. This type of price action is very choppy, and like many people are going to get they're going to get messed up trading this chop, in my opinion. As you can see, there's like a big sell zone around like the 60K area. I mean, price has already tapped it multiple times. And this is like the level to break, the 60K region, or 59.5, 59.5K. This is the level to break, in my opinion. Price has mostly filled out this inefficient move that we saw on April 18th. And there's likely going to be more liquidity up in that area, in like the mid-low 60Ks. And this is kind of still the area that I'm targeting, kind of like this top area. Like there should be some liquidity, like decent amount of liquidity up there. I mean, price hasn't really gone close to that area in almost a month, 3 weeks now. And I still feel that this is like kind of the area to target. And I think that price will go up to that area. I mean, in the short term, obviously everybody's incredibly bearish. People are probably calling for like, 50K or even lower, or like 40K. And yeah, price could certainly get there, but like there's still a lot of levels to break in the meantime. And for now, like 56K is like kind of like the support area, but it's just really choppy right now. I mean, we're seeing people get wicked out. Price is still within this range. There's going to be more support around the low 50Ks, kind of like 52K. This is like another area of support that's going to be next up if this level breaks. But as of right now, it's just really chop city. I mean, that's really all I can say is like, I wouldn't be surprised to see some crazy wicks in both directions. I don't feel this is like the total macro market top. I still feel that Bitcoin's going to 75K or higher over the coming months. But for now, it's just like a total range. Like it's like this big range that is formed between kind of this 50K area and the 60K region. This is just like a range that we're seeing right now. And that'd be nice if we could see prices kind of consolidate in this range for a long time. This like 45K to 65K region, like certainly possible. And this is somewhat healthy too for if you think Bitcoin is going to go to like $100,000 later this year. Certainly possible. But as of right now, as I said, I really don't have any idea of where Bitcoin's going. As of right now, 55K is still support, followed by 52K and 51K. Those are like the two areas that I'm viewing next. But I still feel that 63K-ish area, 64K, is going to be tapped within the next like week or two. Price hasn't tapped there in quite some time, and there has to be at least one push and test up to that level. And like after that, maybe price dumps a lot because there should be sellers still in that area. And when you are looking at these double top type of price action patterns, the amount of time spent in between each top is important for whether or not you decide to trade it. Typically speaking, the longer the time in between, the stronger this initial level will be. And it also depends on how price gets there too. Like if you see, for instance, like, you know, big market top formed, price comes down, consolidates for a while and blitzes up and then hits another double top. If it's like that, you'll see it pull back when this first initial push up is an inefficient type of move, like a huge blitz up. Whereas if you see like the same type of price action, but you see price kind of consolidating like really long time up, and then get to that region again, you generally won't see as strong of a reaction in this case, just because price has grinded up and it's a more sustainable move than this like big blitz up. A good example of that would be like seeing Bitcoin break through some other levels, trying to find them. I'll have to find some other charts later on. Anyways, but yeah, the concept is still the same. So we'll see how price gets there. I mean, this is kind of a slow grinding thing. So maybe the 65K, 64K won't be resistance. I don't know. But as I said, I really don't have a great idea of where Bitcoin is going. To me, it's still bullish to me until shown otherwise. I'm still bullish until shown otherwise. There is still support at 55K and then 51K. And while those levels have been tapped frequently, this to me is still just like one big range. The ETH USD chart is way sexier in my opinion. This is just like a way better chart in general. It's at 4K. It's super healthy, super clear bullish trend in general. Price accumulated for like over a month, and now it's unwinding and still blitzing up. The nice thing about ETH that I like to see, and I posted this in another. I have to find the chart. Here, I'll just put it on my other list. Okay, so the thing I like about ETH is that no matter really what pattern you choose for continuation, it's basically done it the last few months, and it's just continuing up. This is a good example of what these continuation patterns look like, and these bullish accumulation patterns as well. Like you saw price kind of range here for a month, and then it continued. Again, you saw price kind of, again, accumulate throughout February. And there were some moves obviously in between, but like you did see these like consolidation patterns as well. The most recent one being in early May, like a week ago. Price is still going up. I mean, any dip that you can buy for ETH, I would just do it. If you are not exposed, I would certainly look for kind of this first kind of 3,900 area as like your first level up. This should have some pretty good support. 3,500 if things get really bad, or 3,600. If Bitcoin starts to pull back quite a bit, then this probably will follow. But if you look too at the EMAs, like they are a little bit overextended, but I still feel that this will continue higher. So like an aggressive entry would be like the 3900s, and then like a more conservative one would be like 3600. Again, let's just kind of see what happens. Like this isn't like super far pullback in general, like 14%. That's like a day in crypto land, obviously. But let's just see. I mean, buying any dips for ETH right now is just really, it's a good strategy. Like you've been rewarded just being an ape the last few weeks and months for ETH, and like thankfully ETH is my biggest position, so I'm really happy about that. Let's briefly look at LTC. I think that LTC, this was like one of the safest. Oh, this is LTC BTC. I always thought that LTC USD this was one of the safest trades you could take up to 420, because the reason is that ETH and BTC both went far beyond their all-time high levels, while ETH USD was still like lagging quite a bit. And I'm not saying ETH is LTC is like the strongest coin ever, but it just makes sense that LTC would eventually break all-time highs, or at least get to all-time highs when everything else was really doing very well. So personally, I never added any LTC. I should have added some like in the 200s, but this was to me like a fairly safe trade. I probably should have just taken it just because it was like a safe trade. I do have a small LTC bag, but it's not very significant. Still feels like pretty good. I mean, price tapped this first region around 400 on its first go. Expecting more consolidation, perhaps a pullback, but like an aggressive entry might be like 350 or so, and then like another entry would be 325. Similar to ETH, it would require BTC to struggle a little bit to get to that level. Certainly still possible, of course, but to me, I mean, like a pullback to 350 would be decent. And also, if you saw price just consolidating, then it almost certainly will break up. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see like a retest of 350 and then go up. And again, there's lower levels as well. Like the swing high around 300 is also important. So the bottom line is that LTC USD is just still really, really bullish in my opinion. I think that this still looks good. Volume is still pretty strong. And yeah, like LTC, BTC also starting to look pretty good too. Still feel really good that altcoins are going to do great in the coming weeks and months. 6 weeks is kind of like my horizon or timeline for altcoins, and let's just see. I'm still exposed to altcoins, and then I'll flip them to BTC after that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck. Thank you.